Welcome to another blogging tutorial. Today we're going to go over how to set up Google Analytics in your WordPress blog. Google Analytics is a software used or created by Google that allows us to see how many visitors we're having to our website, where they're from, and get a lot of information about those visitors. And it also tells us which pages they're looking at, which blog posts they're looking at. And it's really cool because it also shows us where they're coming from. So if they're coming directly from like Google search, or if they're coming from a different search, or if somebody's posting and linking about us from a different website, then we'll see that as well. So it's really important for me to be able to see where I'm getting my traffic from and then what they're doing when they're on my site. So I like having Google Analytics set up on all of my sites, and I recommend that you do the same. Google Analytics is connected to your Gmail account, so you will need to have a Google account in order to sign up for Google Analytics. Once you're ready to get started, you're just going to go to analytics.google.com, or you can search Google Analytics. You'll need to choose which account you want to use to log into the Google Analytics. So I'll go ahead and click on the one that I already have set up with Google Analytics. My next screen may look a little bit different since I'm already set up, and you may see something like get started or something like that because you haven't actually set up analytics anywhere else. But since I have it on multiple websites already, mine's already taking me to the home page. If yours says something like get started, it should match up to the next step. So for me, I'm going to go into admin, and then this is where I think it should look the same as if I didn't have an analytics account. So I'm going to go ahead and click admin. And then I'm going to go to create account. So here we need to add an account name. So I'm going to add the name Blogging Tutorials. And you can put the name to match your website. And then on the next section, this is what type of information do you want to share with Google. So I don't have a reason to keep or to uncheck any of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave them all checked and then click next. For the property setup, I'm just going to put WordPress. The reason I'm putting WordPress is because if you use multiple different programs with your site, you could end up having different types of properties. So for example, on my Selling Family site, I have a WordPress installation and I also have a Kajabi installation. So I can have different analytics for people who are visiting the Kajabi version of my site and the people who are visiting the WordPress version. So I'm going to go ahead and put WordPress. If you know you're not going to use anything else, you can just type the property name to match your account name. And then you want to add your time zone and then the currency that you use. This is so if you set up any type of goals, then you can set that up with the currency that you put here. So it's just one of those things you want to just have set up from the beginning. And then go ahead and click next. And then this is just information that Google's asking about your business. So you can fill out this information for your site. So I'll put business size small, and then how do I intend to use Google Analytics is I just want to measure customer engagement on my site. And then for industry, I'll go ahead and put business and industrial, but look through these different types of industries and see which one makes the most sense for the blog that you set up. And then click create. Next, we're going to go ahead and agree to the terms and services from Google. So you want to look those over yourself and then click accept. And then for data stream, we're going to choose web. We're going to type in our web address and then the stream name, and then click create stream. All right, now that we have our WordPress stream set up on Google Analytics, we want to connect this to our actual WordPress installation And to do that, we need this code from analytics. So if you look below where your stream details are, you'll see this tagging instructions, and then we have our global site tag. So you're going to click the drop-down message or drop-down button there, and then you're going to copy this Then you're going to copy this whole section here. So you can just click this little copy icon, and it will copy it for you. Now this we need to have put on every page of our website, and that probably sounds a little difficult, but it's actually really easy. So we're going to go over to our WordPress dashboard, and we're going to click on Divi and then the theme options. And then we're going to go to integration, and then where it says this section here, the second one, good for tracking code such as Google Analytics, we're going to type the code there. So we're just going to paste it in. And then this is going to add this code onto every page that's created on our website. So go ahead and click Save. And now that code has been added to the site. All right, and while we're here, what we want to do is we want to exclude ourselves from all of the tagging and analytics. So in this bottom section here under additional settings, we're going to go to where it says more tagging settings. And then we're going to say define internal traffic. So if it's just you working on your site, you can just put your information. If you have a team, you'll put all of their information. So we're going to go to create for rules, and then we're going to name it me or whatever, if you want to put team or assistant, whatever you want to put. And then traffic type value, internal, we can just leave that. And then we're going to put for IP address, we're going to put equals and then our IP address. So if you're not sure what your IP address is, if you just Google what's my IP address, it will actually tell you. So you can see here, here's my IP address. So I can just copy and paste that. So to get here, I just typed in what's my IP address, and then go back to analytics and type that IP address in, and then click create. So now this rule will exclude myself from the analytics information. So now we can go ahead and take a look at the front end. We'll just close out of this and close out of this. And then we can just go to home. Basically, we'll just close out of this as well. And then we'll click on the home button. So this is pretty empty right now, or completely empty, because we haven't had any visitors to track at this time. But there's a lot of stuff you'll be able to see when your site starts getting traffic set up. So you'll be able to see things like how many new visitors you've had on your site, how many visitors have come back to your site, how long they're spending on your site. You'll be able to see which pages that they're visiting. You'll be able to see where they're coming from. So if they're coming from a search result or if they were referred by another website, this will tell you which pages they're looking at whenever they're on your site, which countries they're from. It will tell you over time if you're trending up or down for traffic, what time people are on your site. And then you can also set up like conversion. So if you're selling a product, you can set it up so that you know if people visit this page, do they end up buying from this page? But that's all a little bit more advanced, and I'm not going to get into all of that. I just want to make sure that you have this set up from the beginning of creating your site. So that's it for this one.